The No Child Left Behind Act. What is the No Child Left Behind Act? It is an act of Congress that President George W. Bush II signed in 2002. The act was a reauthorization of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, ESEA, of 1965. The act aimed to improve the education and performance of specific groups of students. Goals of the No Child Left Behind Act. The primary goal was to improve students' achievements by holding schools accountable for all students' academic progress, with a particular emphasis on closing the achievement gap between different student groups by requiring standardized testing and programs for struggling students. The act mandated testing reading and math for students in grades 3 to 5th, with the aim of assessing progress. Schools were required to meet adequate yearly progress, the AYP, standards with penalties for those that did not meet those specific benchmarks. The No Child Left Behind Act allowed students in underperforming schools to transfer to better performing ones, enhancing educational options for families. The act required instructors to be highly qualified in the topics they taught, assuming educational quality across the board. Standardized tests became a primary metric for measuring students' performance, focusing on proficiency levels across diverse populations. Funding. Federal funding was allocated to assist low-income schools, but required compliance with the No Child Left Behind Act mandates to receive support. Criticism of standardized testing. Critics claim that an overemphasis on testing might result in teaching to the test, limiting the range of education. Impact on curriculum. The No Child Left Behind Act altered curriculum across the country, frequently focusing on tested subjects such as reading and math above the arts and sciences. While the No Child Left Behind Act attempted to eliminate inequalities, critics pointed to continuing achievement discrepancies among various socioeconomic and ethnic groups. The act contained requirements to guarantee that students with disabilities were evaluated and included in accountability measures. Parental involvement. No Child Left Behind Act encouraged parental involvement in education, mandating schools to inform parents about their child's educational progress. Schools failing to meet the AYP faced escalating consequences such as restructuring and administrative changes. The No Child Left Behind Act faced numerous challenges regarding funding, implementation, and evolving educational needs. In 2015, the No Child Left Behind Act was replaced by the Every Student Succeeds Act, ESSA, which sought to address No Child Left Behind's criticism while maintaining accountability. ESSA provided more control to states and local school districts, allowing for tailored approaches to address educational challenges. The ESSA introduced new standards for assessments, promoting innovative ways to evaluate students' learning beyond standardized tests. A more thorough knowledge of student achievement that takes into consideration both individual needs and social-emotional learning was emphasized by the transition to ESSA. The legacy of No Child Left Behind is still unclear, while its emphasis on accountability brought about important reforms. It also caused testing procedures to be re-examined. Following the No Child Left Behind Act and the transition to the Every Student Succeeds Act, discussions about how to strike a balance between accountability, equity, and educational excellence are still going strong. In order to improve educational achievements while reducing the negative effects of earlier legislation, educators and legislators are investigating alternative frameworks. A fundamental piece of legislation, the No Child Left Behind Act, had a profound effect on American education and influenced current debates over schools, accountability, and reform. My works cited.